a big mouth, you know, a know-it-all.
Don't listen to him, he's an incompoop.
The guy is a radio genius, but he's got a hell of a lot to learn.
Right, hi everyone, it's Chris here, 2E0UKH, waffling on again, and I've just come up with a list of things you can do to improve your hotspot to get the best out of it. You know, there's loads of different types of hotspot. This won't apply to all of them, but if I've missed any out, if you've got any other suggestions, put them in the comments. So I've got a window here open showing all different types of hotspots, and these are the most common ones. You know, a jumbo spot or a zoom spot with a Pi 0 on and a jumbo spot board on. You know, this one's in a metal case. I'll talk about that later. But these are just some pictures of some hotspots I've got open. Right, so starting at the beginning here, if you're using Wi-Fi, consider an external USB Wi-Fi dongle, because these metal ones, it goes on the internal Raspberry Pi Wi-Fi, and if it's in a metal case, the range will be considerably cut down. You know, you'll benefit from being in a plastic case or ditching the metal. It also rattles in the car, very annoying. If using Wi-Fi, move nearer to the router. I set someone up with one of these that I was just talking about at the bottom here, and the router was downstairs and his hotspot was upstairs, and he sounded awful. Putting it nearer to the router made 100% difference, crystal clear. Number 3, when using Wi-Fi, always try to find a clear channel. You can do this using an Android or an iPhone app, a network scanner, and find a clear channel, and you will get better range on it because you're not getting knocked out by neighbouring Wi-Fi signals. Right, if your transmit or receive quality is poor, then perform a speed test. You know, you might be on Wi-Fi, but you might find your cellular is better, or vice versa. Switch from one to the other. Configure it in the Wi-Fi settings. Turning the power up or down can make a difference. If you're too near to some hotspots, you can overload them. I remember when I had a DV4 Mini, being too near it caused problems, so moving your location can help. Although some of the new hotspots, they're a lot more forgiving, but that was just one I thought of which was relevant, could still be relevant with some cheaper hotspots. You know, these jumbo spots have a ceramic antenna built in. They're not very good, they don't give very good range, especially if it's inside a metal case, so avoid ceramic antennas if you can. If you know what you're doing, perform a firmware update on a DV Mega, Jumbo Spot or Zoom Spot. These make changes to the different modes. You know, I always remember DV Mega came up excuse me, with an update, and the audio on DMR went up dramatically. Sounded great after that. And if you're serious about using, you know, hotspots, you know, you use them a lot, scanning lots of different modes is not it works and it's okay, but one mode per hotspot, that's what I do. That way you're not missing stuff and there's a delay. And if you've got more than one hotspot, choose frequencies as far away from the other hotspot, and then you won't be getting interference. Yeah, ditch the metal case if you can. It blocks the Wi-Fi signal, especially from internal Pi Wi-Fis. You can pick up these little Wi-Fi dongles, you know, that go on the outside for £5 or £10 from the Pi Hut, and they work fantastic. And it's on the outside, so it's not blocked so much. Choose frequencies away from repeaters and local users online and satellites. I mean, on Pi-Star, when you're setting it up, it indicates in green whether you've got a good frequency, a frequency away from satellites, one that will work. So if I go on here to my configuration on my Pi-Star, where are we? It's got it in green. If I typed a frequency in that would interfere with someone, it goes red and you can't use it. So that's a good idea. That's preventing interference to other users. Using a decent quality rubber duck antenna on the hotspot. You know, if you can put an SMA on there, or reverse SMA, have something with some decent gain on it. You can put an outdoor antenna on them and get several miles out of them, but that is illegal. It's definitely illegal here. Like I said, move away or nearer to the hotspot. You can overload some hotspots. Now this is the best tip. If at all possible, use a network cable. Use an Ethernet cable, an RJ45 cable. Wired is always better than wireless. So if your hotspot, my hotspot's always at home, my main one, and it's sitting next to the router. So I've connected a network cable, an Ethernet cable, straight into the router, and you get the maximum bandwidth. And the frequency your hotspot's on. You know, nowadays there's dual band ones. If you've got more than one hotspot running, you can reduce the interference you get from the other one by putting one on 2 meters, one on 70 sems. Get them as far away as possible. Rebooting. You know, I regularly reboot my hotspots. If you're on Pi-Star, it's quite easy to do. You just go to power and click on reboot. Now you can get away with cheapo memory cards, but if you want the best results, you want fast read and write speeds. And I always use a SanDisk class 10 memory card. You get these on eBay now. No, Amazon actually is better. From SanDisk direct. You know, I've seen 64 gig ones for £10. You don't really need 64 gigs, but 16, 32. But get a class 10 because it gives you faster read and writing speeds. Using an old Raspberry Pi, you know, if you're on a DV Mega on a Pi or a Jumbo Spot on a Pi, using an old Raspberry Pi 1 will work. It will work. But making any settings, any changes or rebooting will take a lot longer on an old Pi. I'm using a Raspberry Pi 2 here because I wanted to rob the Raspberry Pi 3 for another project. I wanted to make a retro Pi, and I didn't notice a lot of difference. The 3 was quicker, but the 2 this is running a 2, and the 2 is okay. But for example, if I was using YSF, this is my YSF hotspot. If I was using YSF and I wanted to change to a different channel, room, actually this isn't my YSF, this is my other one. Where's my YSF one? This is my YSF hotspot. If I wanted to change room, where is it? So I'm connected to the America link. If I change room and went to another one, any old one, Austria for example, clicked apply, it will take a long time. This is a Raspberry Pi 2. This will take quite a while to change the room. If you look on the bottom left, it's waiting for this IP number. That's my local IP on my network, 192.168.178. It's waiting for that. You know, we'll be here all day. That'll be at least a minute or two. That'll reset, and then it will stop the network services, and then it will resume and connect me to that room. So the setting's gone in, it's just resetting again, and it will change me over to that room. But if you've got a quicker Pi, it'll be a lot quicker. So look, it's reset, but it stopped all the services, and it's applying the changes. And a combination of a fast memory card and a fast Pi, you can get a lot better speed. So look, here we are. It's up and running. Actually, you know, it says here where I'm connected to. So where did we get to? Yeah, so using Raspberry Pi, get a newer one. I mean, the old ones are okay. Now, monitor your BER error rates. These ones here. Bit error rate. That is the connection from the radio to the hotspot. I've never seen mine that high. I'm not sure why that is. I've just rebooted it. You need to keep an eye on the temperatures of your hotspot, because it, depending on the hotspot temperature, it goes off frequency, and you can correct the off frequency-ness. It's a good word. You can correct that in the settings on the dashboard configuration. Now I've like you know, I've got lots of different hotspots. I have actually, but lots of different radios here. And when I key up, I can see on the display of the hotspot what the BER error rate is. And all the different radios have a different error. You know, error rate. Some are 0.5, some are 3 or 4.5. And that's because all these radios are off frequency, and you can alter them. You've got to go to, where is it? Admin. What I'm looking for is RX offset. Expert. That's not me. Right, MMDVM host. If you go in here, you can alter. I think you've got to go down to the modem settings. RX offset. You can change this number. Try 40, try 50, try 60. Just alter it. Key up on a channel, on a talk group or a room. Go to an echo test and monitor your own errors. It is possible to have this screen on here. This is a good tip. Have this screen on here, small. So have that running, and you can have another instance of this Pi Star running in another window. So this is my YSF one. If I right click on that, I can open it in a new window. So if I open it in a new window, I could make a setting in RX offset. Let's say I wanted to improve it, and I typed in 50 and I applied the changes. I would see on my main dashboard here on the left, I would see the BER rate. If that was no good, I would know I have to come back over here and try something different. So you can have two instances of your hotspot. Make changes on the right and view the results on the left. And monitor your packet loss. Packet loss is the internet loss. As you can see, my internet's pretty good here because I've got it on Ethernet. If I had it on Wi-Fi, that might not be as good as that. So I'm struggling to come up with any more ideas. If anyone's got any other comments, put them in the comments, and we'll compile a good list of ways to optimize your hotspot. Okay, bit long-winded, but might be useful. 732E0UKH.